And we're live. Hey everybody, welcome back to another one of our lunchtime live streams. I'm John Bobrow. I'm one of the creators of Blinks, and today I'm really excited to be live streaming because last weekend, many of you may have been aware of this, we had one of my favorite events, and actually, maybe I'm actually thinking it's last weekend. At this point, it's 2 weekends ago. One of our favorite events called Global Game Jam. And if this is your first time joining us, let me just give you a little bit of background. So, Blinks is the world's first smart tabletop game system. And I'm just going to switch over here real quickly to show these are Blinks, and this is our brand new, this is new for 2021, the Blinks game system. And it's packaged with 9 Blinks, these intelligent game pieces, right in the box. And the neat thing about each of these games is that, or each of these game pieces, is that each one knows a single game. And so in the game system, there are 9 Blinks and 9 games right out of the box. And one of the things I like to share is when I was growing up, whenever you owned a toy or a game system, like if you opened it up yourself, it wasn't, you couldn't make anything out of it, right? Legos were the only thing you could rebuild with. And with Blinks, every single Blink is open source, and you can open up the back and reprogram it to be any game you want. And so anybody can be a game creator. And so for that reason, we also have developer kits. And this is the Blinks developer kit, and inside of it, all the tools you need to make your own games. And it's friendly for first-time users for electronics, and also if you haven't any experience programming, people get up and running within a day. So today, I'm really excited to have one of our community members, game designers, developers, join us. And so I'm going to switch over. Here we go, and welcome Alfred to our stream. So welcome, Alfred.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing well. It's really good to have you on and get to actually chat face to face, as close as we can get these days.
Right.
Where are you calling in from?
Calling in from northern New Jersey in Passaic County.
Awesome. So not too far away. We're just maybe a river or two between us.
That's right.
And how about give our audience a little bit of background? How did you? Well, first of all, how did you come to know Blinks? How did you get introduced to Blinks?
Facebook ads in the
they work.
Concise answers. Yeah, I was scrolling through Facebook. It was the second Kickstarter that I found out later was the second Kickstarter, and I just was really. Well, first of all, the colors, they drew me in because I like shiny things. And I clicked on it, and I'm like, okay, what is this all about? I saw the pitch video, and I think I was able to get one of the early birds, and I think I backed like the full shebang, 3 sets, all 18 Blinks, and then I added on the dev kit later. I got my friend Will to also back, and maybe even one other. So I've been evangelizing for the platform a little bit too. So,
and I noticed you're wearing probably the most stylish shirt I've seen in.
Yeah, I think I jokingly asked on one of the streams, like, when can I get one of those shirts? And then I was very delighted that I think you guys just snuck it in on the backer kit add-ons. I'm like, ooh, they didn't say anything about T-shirts. Let me add one of those.
We like to surprise people from time to time. I feel like it's got to be one of my favorite things. Is whenever the opportunity arises, we'll pop some stickers in there or buttons.
Yeah.
So I'm actually, I have to tell you, our community last year, we had like maybe the first 1,000 people with Blinks at the beginning of the year. And we ended the year with over 5,000 people with Blinks, which
That's
is
awesome.
really exciting, but I wanted to share with you. It's neat to hear that actually the the Facebook ad reached you. It's something that we've been very like I don't know, done very sparingly, and are just learning from the process because it's, what, like, if you were to describe Blinks, like, you brought some other friends to the Blinks campaign. What did you say to get them excited about Blinks? Because it's unlike other things.
Well, my personality type is if I see something that resonates with me and like I'm really into it, like I said earlier, I just evangelize until people get tired of hearing about it. So I saw the video, I saw the capability of programming, I just saw that, you know, the fact that they could teach each other and the just like I said, the colors, and it was just unlike anything I'd ever seen before. And so, I said, hey guys, you got to check this out. So I guess to directly answer your question, I usually just say like, gotta check this out. Here's this link. This looks awesome. And yeah, so some people bought in. Some people were like, yeah, it looks cool. I also, because of quarantine, I think I backed it right before quarantine started. I can't remember exactly the timeline, but I was like, oh, I can't wait till you come over. I was talking to one of my friends, and we can play this thing called Blinks. It should be in, and later in the year. I ended up buying him a set. I'm like, and I attached a note. I'm like, hey, we were supposed to play these together, but I think you're gonna love them. And I bought the Blinks game system, the 9, the one that comes with 9, and I sent that to his house, and he said he liked it. So yeah.
Awesome. That's it's really cool to hear that experience because we like to do like customer calls and just get a sense on like what's it on the other end. It's so easy to forget that there's people on both sides of these things.
Yeah.
It's and I actually well, we can get more into it, but if you noticed the cover art for our live stream today, was that a drawing that you made?
I did. I didn't notice the cover art for the live stream today. Was it my daughter's artwork?
It has some frogs on it, I believe.
Yeah, I did not. My daughter totally owned the art department. She's a much better artist than I am. So
I'm excited to hear about this. And remind me, is it Julia?
Julia, yeah.
Cool. And so, how old is your daughter? And when you got Blinks, were you thinking about her when you bought them?
My daughter is 6.5, and yes, to an extent, I definitely saw the huge potential for a fun family thing, because the games kind of run the gamut. I was like, oh, this would be fun to play together. Because even my 4-year-old, he's been doing things like Flick Flop and helping us with Wham and some of the more approachable games. So yeah, that family was definitely a part of it.
Awesome. And so this, I guess 2 weekends ago at the Global Game Jam, you signed up. You decided, okay, I'm committed to making a game in under 48 hours. And you also, let me see if I can bring this up on screen. Actually, I'll do that in a bit, but you captured the weekend in a blog.
I did, yeah.
And so you and Julia set out to make a game. Tell me a little bit about that process. I mean, had you made a Blinks game before? Yeah.
Sure, yeah. So one of the main reasons why I backed was because of the development. And I actually started writing my first game, which stalled, before I even got the Blinks or a dev kit or anything. And I was very active on the forums. They're called Make Like a Tree and Leaf. And I think I got like 80% of the way through. And then when my dev kit finally came, like none of it was coming together in any shape that I expected it to. And then the game that it turned into was kind of almost like a less fun version of Astro. So I was like, maybe I should just mothball this. So fast forward, the Game Jam announcement comes out, and I'm like, you know what? Clearly, I'm not a don't have these great game ideas. Let me see if my daughter would be interested, because she always has these ideas. When I told her that I was making the Make Like a Tree and Leaf, she immediately wanted to make her own game. So this was like several months ago. So that seed was planted, no pun intended. And so fast forward to the Game Jam announcement, I'm like, well, my daughter mentioned that she did want to make a game. So I brought it up to her. You'll see on the blog, we did like a little bit of a brainstorming session, and she came up with 3 ideas. And I said, we'll pick the best one. And then when she came up with frogs, I'm listening with the developer's ear, and I'm like, okay, these game ideas are great, but what can I do in a weekend? And when she started talking about frogs, I was like, this might be something I can pull off. Knowing, I'm glad I had the experience of the failed Blinks game to know like scope, and not to, and to know what features I could fit in a short amount of time. And so that's the genesis of it. And I almost didn't join because I wasn't sure how we'd fit into the whole family schedule. But my wife was very supportive and helped us carve out some time over the weekend to do it. So it was good.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I feel like just hearing that process, I feel like sometimes I love that you had made a game, decided, you know what, I'm not the game designer in the family, daughter is. Let's bring in the creative minds, and we're gonna and I feel like I can relate to that as well, where I don't know if you know this, but Blinks didn't actually start as a game system. It started as research at MIT, and I was surrounded by game designers who kept saying, hey John, these cool little game pieces you're making, do you mind if I make a game for them? And I was like, yeah, I mean, okay, why not? And the very first game we made was from a 3-hour game jam session, and the game that came out of that was Fracture. And I had made games before, but I never really thought of myself as a game designer. And more importantly, I enjoy the process of thinking about how games come together and the systems and the way to make them communicate. I love doing the animations for them and things like that. But the experience for me in participating in game jams is so much more enjoyable when I'm on a team and when I get to bounce ideas off of someone else.
And that even happened, you might find this surprising, but I mean, it even happened between me and my daughter. Like, she would come up with an idea, and that would like spark something in me, and I would expand on her idea, and I would say something, and that would spark something in her. So like, I was coming at it from the programming perspective, she was coming at it from like the total fantasy child imagination perspective, and just having a 6.5-year-old, as a partner was enough to help really make the game idea more cohesive, and it was just a ton of fun.
So let me see. I'm trying to think on the stream. So I wanted to share the blog a little bit, just because I thought this was really, really impressive. So let me see if I can do this. We know that my live stream skills, let's see, can vary here. So I'm going to switch over. Let's see, there we go. There are my arms. And let's go ahead and get a little window capture in here. It's pretty good. It's a promising start. Here we go. Okay. So this is the official Global Game Jam page. And then let me go ahead and bring this on top. Let me see if I can get both of us in here. All right. Well, everybody can hear you, Alfred, so let's see. Video capture. Actually, I think I can get this in here pretty quickly. Okay, I'm going to do a little copy and paste action. Oh yeah, look at this.
There we go.
Pro skills, pro skills. Every Thursday, 1 p.m., you got to come for the good stuff. So So let's take a look at this real quickly. Um, so this is the official Global Game Jam submission, and here's you and your daughter, and some stills from the game. So I'm gonna actually just pop over to the game website because I think this is so cool. So let's see, maybe I can do that a little bit. Yeah, that looks great. Cool. So tell me a little bit about what you did here. Like,
Sure. I have a Raspberry Pi running in my den, and I wanted an excuse to set up like a CMS and a full, encrypted pipeline from global to inside my house, and I managed to get it going. I'm using Grav, and I was like, because I wanted to add something a little extra special for my daughter because she loves to write, she loves to read, and I don't think I needed this, but I also wanted like a carrot for her to to stay engaged. But she was engaged without this, so this was more like a cherry on top than a carrot.
Is a carrot for you?
A carrot for me, but also yeah. So this was just a little fun little thing I did on the side, and yeah, so it's hosted on little Raspberry Pi and I'm using a Node database CMS thing, and yeah,
cool. So this website's running from that Raspberry Pi right now.
Yeah, it's running off a little Raspberry Pi in my basement. Yeah.
That's awesome. This is far better use for that Raspberry Pi than Bitcoin mining.
Yeah.
So and you added to it. You gave daily updates on the process, and then there's a video here on gameplay, which I think I'll put on with mute here, because I think it's also neat. Do you mind if I run it and you can tell us a little bit about the gameplay here?
Sure thing. So without going too much into the story, I guess, basically there are frogs looking for their flies to eat, and they know that they're hidden on the golden lily pad. But my daughter does a much better job explaining the story, and I quoted her on the GitHub README. So if you want to read more about the story, go ahead, go there. So anyway, someone triple clicks a lily pad to make it golden, and then you long press it to hide the fact that it's golden. And before all that, we each take a blank and you double click it to turn into a frog, because you don't want to accidentally mix that in, because you can see they're mixing here. So you have the golden lily pad that's hidden mixed in with all the rest of the lily pads, and the idea is that you will click your frog and you'll get an energy from 1 to 3, and you hop from lily pad to lily pad, and that costs an energy. But there's also a small chance that your lily pad could break and turn to water. And so part of the gameplay is that you can hop on water, but it takes 2 energy. So if you hop on a water, but you only had 1 energy, then your blink will turn red, and it'll indicate to you that you've lost a turn. Again, all these instructions are in detail if you want to read them. So basically you're just taking turns, clicking your frog, getting to see how many hops that you get, and then hopping from lily pad to lily pad to find your flies. And then once you do, the golden lily pad is revealed, and my daughter also wanted the frog to turn golden. I'm like, well, it doesn't really make much sense from a story perspective, but who cares, Yeah, have your golden frog, let's do it.
That's awesome. This is the King Midas of frogs. I think it's just such a cool, like, it's not like any other Blinks game. There are elements of, that I see, but like, I feel like it's got a cool turn structure. There's hidden information.
Yeah. And I put like 3 little bullet points, like you said, and I'm not really a game designer. I put 3 little bullet points on the README at the end for some alternate gameplay ideas. So like, for example, if you wanted to, maybe you can make a moat and, and so like it would force players to hop through water and to have to use two jumps, or maybe you can have everybody start on the same lily pad. I just threw out some ideas, or maybe you can make the play field start with water. So that was one of the things I added at the end was you can click a lily pad and turn it to water if you want to have water obstacles. And so just play around with different iterations and see what feels good. So,
who was better at frogs, you or Julia?
I think Julia is for sure.
That's I and did your son get a chance to play his sister's game?
He played a little bit. He's more interested in. He's still having a little bit of trouble with taking his turn from hopping from lily pad to lily pad. He just wants to go for it.
Yep. I noticed that there's an age where you're just the best at every game, and that's
Right.
the age where you don't care what the rules are. You just win.
Exactly. But I mean, that brings to mind maybe that would be a fun way to play it. That if you have a ton of blanks, that everybody's just hopping and taking turns and seeing who can rush to the golden lily pad the fastest.
That brings me to a good question. There are a lot of blinks in this photo. There's lots of how many blinks are you playing with?
I think we gave a conservative recommendation of like 6 blinks per player.
Okay.
But I think in that photo we had more than that, I guess, because I have the 18 plus 6 blanks plus the epic adventure plus the Dragon's Lair. So however many that adds up to.
So I feel like there's a sweet spot here where like it's more than enough to play most of the games we publish, but you can really like the gameplay just gets kind of cooler. I don't know how to totally say it, but it just kind of gets cooler as you get bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for people to be out and about again, because I think that one of the things that a number of people have brought up is like, it's so nice that by design I can bring my sushi roll of blinks to somebody else's sushi roll of blinks, and those two friends that I got to back the Kickstarter, like, cool, we're gonna put them all together.
I had to kind of like adorn my own box with like the labels, because I just have so many of them and I can't always put them back inside the sushi rolls, so I just kind of put them all in.
That's awesome. You're like, okay, enough with the sushi rolls and being organized. They need
I figure I'll use the sushi rolls if we ever leave the house again and like go to PAX and tabletop area. Then I'll bring them in the sushi rolls. But
well, we've got, and one of the things that there's a number of things in the works right now at Move 38, which is a lot of the fun. I mean, the community's enabled us to bring. The first 12 games were funded by the first Kickstarter. We've now run 3 Blinks Kickstarters, and so all of the games have been enabled by the community. Some of the next things in the works, including I have here a prototype of the bento box.
Nice.
So for those that this is how I always keep 36 with me. So it's we're excited to be introducing things to make that nice and easy.
Nice.
Let's see. So, and how about, we've talked a lot about the game jam and your game creation, but what about outside of Blinks? What are you doing other than making cool games and being part of the Blinks community?
Being a father, mostly. I work full time, so does my wife. My passion for so I'm a software engineer, I guess, and so my passion for coding is way back from I guess over 20 years ago. It started in elementary school, I guess.
Wow.
And I've been wanting to get into game design forever. I have so many like stalled Unity projects, um, and game ideas. And another reason why I found the Blinks platform so alluring is the limitations that it imposes. It forces you to be creative. It gives you barriers, and I feel like when you sit down to like Unity and you can do literally anything, it's so overwhelming. Even if you set out and like, okay, I'm gonna put together exactly what I want to do, it's so easy to get distracted. But Blinks, you've got the six lights, you've got your infrared communication, and you can only do so many things with them, right? That's what my brain needed. I needed that, and it was just the perfect way to get into that. So, but aside from Blinks and programming and all that, I'm a huge audiophile. I have a little humble home theater in my basement that we get to escape to. It's been invaluable during quarantine. So I have like a 92-inch projector screen and a Marantz AVR, and we get the full surround feel. So that's another little peek into who I am.
That's awesome. That's super cool. Maybe there's I look forward to the a frog stop motion trailer, Frog's trailer, and then basement like gameplay with that seems like such a great setup. Well, first of all, this is really nice to connect, and it's always great to have you. I know you join a lot of the live streams, and what are the things, out of curiosity, what are the things that you're looking forward to with Blinks?
Oh boy, I right now I'm really looking forward to seeing the games. I wish I had more time to get on, the GitHub and see people's repositories and load them up. But a lot of balls in the air here, so I haven't really gotten to do that as much as I'd like. But I definitely look forward to the whatever Kickstarters come out. And I got to play, I think, most of the new Epic Adventure games. Very good. I haven't played Crownfall, I think it is, yet, because of all of the rules. I have to sit down and actually read about all the different pieces.
Crownfall's an investment.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, this one's 4 pages of rules. I gotta actually get some time for that.
I think our interns were determined to over deliver. They're like, okay, let's see. Yeah, and I feel like it's a game for. There's kinds of different types of games on Blinks for different kinds of people. I feel like I have to tell people, don't be afraid to try a game that you don't think you'd initially like. Sometimes it's the way you find your favorite.
Yeah. Would you mind if we read my daughter's responses to the interview questions that you sent? I'm sure she would love it, because I would want to show her this after.
I would love that. And actually, yeah.
I saw you had the website open. It's just the most recent blog entry. I just answered them all online so that I'd have a reference point and be
perfect.
Yeah.
So here we go. I think I've got it. Yes. Announcement and interview. There we go.
Yeah.
And let me switch over to here we are. Cool. Is that looking right?
It looks good to me.
Okay.
So, do you want to read the 38 and I'll be me and Julia?
That sounds perfect. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to pull this like that. There we go. All right. So Alfred, tell me, how did you come up with the idea for frogs?
I don't know. I don't know how I came up with the idea. Did it just pop into your head? Yeah, kind of.
So Julia, it kind of did. Was your dad a good helper when making the game?
Yeah, I don't know how to do coding, and he did the coding. I'm only a 6.5-year-old, and he typed it. My hands would get tired if I typed all those words.
So what's the next game you're gonna make?
I think I really liked the candy one I came up with. It's called Candy, and I linked the brainstorming blog entry.
Yeah, Dad, what happened here on Candy, huh?
Yeah, it didn't make the cut.
Didn't make the cut. Well, there's more game jams to come. Let's see.
Yes.
So what's your favorite Blinks game besides Frogs?
My very favorite is Dark Ball. I get to make so many different tracks. And win.
Who do you play against?
Well, usually, so we do like a four-way setup, but then when the kids inevitably lose, they take a chunk of the blinks and then they play off to the side, and then my wife and I finish the game of Dark Ball. That's cool. That's one of our go-to games.
That's super cool. That makes me so happy. I love it. So Dark Ball and Wham are the two favorites. And it sounds like Flick Flop is a contender for your son.
Yes, he does like that one. And sometimes they'll both get in a little Zen flow mood, and they'll just want to press and watch the colors. But yeah, my daughter was sitting with me when I did some of the coding, and I was trying to like explain to her, the different things that we're working on. Like I was trying to show her the ideas that we came up, during our brainstorming and how that translated to the code. And it was a really special experience. So I'm really happy that we did it.
That's amazing. Alfred, I feel like it's such a wonderful example of, the kinds of things you can do with Blinks, just like not only the way your family's playing with them and like keeping busy during quarantine, but like also, I have no doubt that, this kind of experience for your daughter, it's like, what an amazing opportunity to make something, realize it, do it with your dad. So it's just, I was enjoying following the process over the Game Jam weekend. And I'm excited to see lots more, parent-child duo games arise. I'm not sure if you knew this, but Astro started as a Game Jam game from a father and son duo, one of the earliest Game Jams we held. So
nice.
So I look forward to seeing not only you joining our next Game Jams, but also these, let us know in the comments if you want to play Frogs. If you have a developer kit, you can get your hands on it now. And this year, we're really excited to be publishing the next games for Blinks, so keep an eye out. Lots of community member games. We're going to make sure that they're coming to the platform and coming quickly. So this has been wonderful. Any last parting notes that you'd like to share with the community?
Just thank you to everyone. Everyone's been so supportive. There's a lot of really smart people out there, and it's just everybody's been so helpful and open, and it's one of the best communities that I've had the pleasure to be a part of. So just thank you to everyone.
Thanks so much, Alfred. It's such a treat. I'm looking forward to seeing you next Thursday, and you'll probably catch me. Jamie and I are going to have to load up Frogs this weekend, so.
Perfect.
Well, I'll report back, and maybe we'll have a Frogs tourney. So.
Sounds awesome.
All right. Thanks so much. Thanks everybody so much for joining our live stream today. And of course, leave any questions or feedback in the comments. We're here every Thursday at 1 p.m. And if you're looking to get your hands on Blinks, you can get them now at move38.com. The Blinks game system is available and shipping. And, looking forward to seeing y'all soon. Later.